Hey guys, this is Andy from underdogchance.com and welcome back to my NBA betting model predictions and projections. So far 5-6 with very good closing line value numbers. It is still start of the season. I'm of course selective, especially when it comes to sharp markets. You cannot find value bet every single day. And today I will talk a little bit about sharp markets and why they are a little bit harder to beat for most people. Okay, and what are the mistakes, what are the challenges, and so on. Okay, so I didn't make a longer video for some time, but today I will say a couple of words about this. Okay, so what are sharp markets? One of the definition in sports betting, a market is considered sharp when it is more challenging to find value bets due to the high level of expertise and information among the participants. Okay, this is one of the definitions, and here are the challenges sports bettors make, and especially rookie and amateur bettors. Uh, they are usually not prepared for sharp markets, and this is my recommendation. And I try to give not advice anymore at this stage of my life. I don't want to give advice anymore. I just want to tell you what worked for me and my experiences and what I think can help most people in the betting world. Okay, so the challenges in sharp markets is that we have sharper lines, simply as that, right? In sharp markets, bookmakers set very accurate lines, making it harder to find mispriced odds. These lines reflect a deep understanding of the sport, including player performance, team dynamics, and other relevant factors. The accuracy of the lines means there's less room for the average bettor to exploit any inefficiencies. Okay, which makes sense. The second challenge is high liquidity and formed odds. As more money is wagered on these markets, the liquidity increases. High liquidity often leads to more stable and well-formed odds. With more money in play, bookmakers adjust the odds quickly in response to betting patterns, leaving minimal room for value as the market becomes more efficient. The second, influence of big players. Sharp markets attract professional bettors and syndicates who bet large sums of money. Their betting actions can significantly influence the lines. These players typically have access to advanced data tools and models, allowing them to identify and act on value bets quickly. So, if you look an average NBA NFL bettor, the guy has a regular job, then he comes home, say hello to the wife, he eats, and then 2 hours before the games, he will start looking for picks, maybe making some analysis, and then he will bet. Once he do this, he's already late because big players and professionals who bet these big sports, they usually do this full time, right? And if you decide to play these sharp markets, the simple and the last thing you can do is to have a betting model, betting system, betting strategy. Okay, if you rely on gut feelings, it is like having Toyota against Formula One, and you want to compete against it. Okay, it will not work. Some people will say, okay, I bet for 15 years, 20 years NBA. Yeah, but most of these people who say this, they don't they still have regular job. They never really made any money. So there's a big difference between being a pro, making real big bets, or having a feeling that you bet for 15, 20 years. Okay, so my recommendation is, if you are new to sports betting, if you're a rookie bettor, maybe you should explore other markets, smaller markets. Focus on betting knowledge. Try to beat smaller players and then come to the big leagues. Okay, this is just recommendation. I'm not definitely here to tell anyone what to do, but I try to give you the best possible advice. So what are the solutions? Okay, and how you can use my betting model. Okay, the first thing is early betting. Okay, if you bet NBA, NFL, for example, you need to bet early, because once you bet at the closing lines, every single information, including big players' action, is included into the odds. And if you think you're smarter than the closing line, then you're probably naive, right? So early betting, place bets early when the lines are first released. Early lines may not fully account for all available information, providing him opportunities for value before the market adjusts. Okay, sometimes we have the players, and we don't know if they will play. I don't know, game time decision, questionable players. But with the betting model, you can reproject different situations, different lineups, and then if you find the value with the let's say, if you find the value without the best player, and if you find the value with him in the lineup, of course, then you have a value, right? So if both projections shows the value, I will give you one example. So focus on details and adapt. Stay informed about the sport and evolving betting strategies. Keep up with the latest news, players, conditions, and team dynamics, and adjust your strategy based on current info and data. So this is an example from today's game. Okay, we have Detroit and we have Cleveland. And as you see, we have game time decision for Garland and Donovan Mitchell. So what you can do with this betting model? If you have my betting model, you can go to players check tab, and you can change the lineup. Once you can project with Donovan Mitchell, once you can do without him, and you will get the lines. And if you get the value, for example, with Detroit Pistons, with both projections, even if this is, I don't know, 3 4 points, and with the other, I don't know, 9 points or whatever it is, then this can be considered as potentially good bet. Okay, so this is how you can project different scenarios based on the information, because this information, this is something I don't have. ESPN doesn't have this information. NBA.com doesn't have this information. If Donovan Mitchell, for example, will play, the only people who know this are the doctors, managers, coaches, and maybe later when this information will come out, the bookmakers will move the lines quickly. Okay, so this is something you can do: reproject, reanalyze games a couple of times, because if you want to play a game with big players, with big sharp markets, then you need to take it seriously. This is how it is, right? If you decide to bet on Swedish volleyball league, second volleyball league, you don't need to make deep analysis, because they probably don't have that information. And if you have some extra information, you can find the value. But of course, the limits are much smaller, right? In NBA, you can bet 100K on a game. In Swedish volleyball league, maybe you can bet $50 per game. But new and rookie bettors with small bankers, they anyway don't bet, I don't know, 10K per game, right? So sometimes it is better to go with smaller markets. But if you decide to play with big games, the the few things you can do, or the basic things you can do, is get the betting knowledge, build a betting model, so you have well-defined betting system, so you make decisions based on the numbers. You crunch numbers and then you make decisions based on this. So you cannot make betting decisions and selections based on your opinion, because against big players who use data algorithms, you will not have a chance. Maybe you can have a chance in 1 month, but try to do this for 15 years, 20 years, which is something the game should be, right? Another solution is explore more bet types. Don't limit yourself to traditional bets like spread betting. Exploring proposition bets can offer unique opportunities, as they often receive less attention from bookmakers, leading to potential value bets. So I'll show you. If you have my betting model, and if you click on player propositions, you get these numbers, and you can use some of these numbers to make proposition bets if you like. So you can track it, you can see these numbers. Again, you can play with players lineups, and again, we don't have this information. Nobody does. Nobody has this information, so we need to speculate. But if you have this information, if some player will play or will not play, then you put this into the betting model, and betting model will do the correct calculation for you. Okay, this is the power of betting model as well. So once you give him the instructions, he will calculate the spreads and the totals each time based on same method. Okay. The next thing, focus on lesser known sports. If you see that you're not doing well with sharp markets, if you, I don't know, then you can focus on less non-sport. So this is the last solution. But I know that most bettors, they like to bet big sports, they like to spread betting, because most people watch these games and they want to combine the excitement with betting. But when it comes to rookie bettors, and when it comes to long-term strategy, if you want to include sports betting into your life, sometimes it is better to focus on betting knowledge, use this betting knowledge, try to beat smaller sports, smaller players. Once you do this, then you can move to the big leagues. Okay, I know it is hard, because we all want to have a lot of money right away, but uh, most people don't make money anyway in sports betting. So it is maybe better to do it strategically and in the long run, and focusing on lesser known sports at the start and then moving to big sports like NBA is also a solution. And finally, patience is the key. Okay, understanding the finding value in sharp markets is challenging. Value bets essentially represent market mistakes, which are rare in sharp markets. Be patient and recognize that not every game will present a valuable betting opportunity. For example, today I didn't find any value. Yesterday I also didn't find any value. As you will see, we will go through the numbers. My numbers and bookmakers' numbers are within 1.5 point today, right? So, which is also a good indicator that betting model is okay. But I have set the criteria at 5 points, and sometimes I will not find a bet for 5 days, and I don't panic. Okay, so I know that I need to be selective, I need to find value bets, and I hope that with this I can make a profit. But if you create a betting model, or if you bet, and if you find uh, pick or value bet in every single game, something is wrong with your method. Sometimes I see on YouTube handicappers, or those who share sports picks, and they find the value in every single pick. This is completely crazy, but I know what they are doing. It is more about marketing, because with marketing you can make even more money than with betting. Because if you have a YouTube channel, and if your videos have, I don't know, many views, then you make a contract with bookmakers and you can make much more money. So you basically entertain people with sports picks, and gamblers, they want to have opinion about the game, and this is a win-win situation for handicapper and for a bookmaker. And that guy who is watching YouTube videos, he will lose anyway, so it is not important. But when it comes to professional betting, when it comes to serious betting that can change your life, where you will actually make money, take the money, um, then you cannot find the value in every single game. This is not possible, especially not in sharp markets. I don't know. So because the value bet is something like a mistake from the market. Okay, and if the market is sharp markets don't make such many mistakes, right? And there's also confusion about what is a value bet. A lot of people think that this is betting on underdogs. A lot of people just think that they find value with opinion. I think that something will win. This is not how you find the value. Value must be always calculated. Okay, so your predicted probability must be higher than the probability that is represented by bookmakers, so it's implied probabilities. Okay, so this is the only proven way how you can win in the long run. And some people will disagree with me, and then you ask him, and what is your record, how you live? So you, those people who bet for 20 years, they still have regular jobs, they never make any real money, and then they say no, value is not this, value is not important. So it's hard to change people's minds when it comes to betting, because the only proven way to win in the sports betting is finding a value, and value is always the difference between your probability and bookmakers implied probability. Okay, or your projected spreads, your projected odds, and bookmakers odds. Okay, because always remember, amateurs always have to bet something. So I see people who are shaking if they don't find a value after 3 days. And I was the same when I was younger. So if I didn't find a bet, then I was shaking, and I was checking betting forums, and I was looking for someone, if someone has some value. So I was trying to tail these picks. And this is not how the things work, right? And maybe I won something, maybe I lost, but in general, I lost back then because of this. You need to be patient because amateurs always have to bet something and professionals bet only if they have something to bet. So this is a huge difference, okay? And I hope that some of these ideas and solutions can help you. So if you have my betting model, so what we can do if you don't find the value. So if you still have to bet something, right? If you need to bet something, so what you can do, you can reproject the lines with different lineups. So if you have game time decision player, make projections with him, make projections without him. If you find the value with both situation, then you can speculate that he will not play, and then you can maybe take the advantage of the spread. This is one thing. The second thing, bet early. Okay, if you have a regular job and if you come home, kiss your kids, kiss your wife, then you play a PlayStation, then you go outside to play with the dog, and then later maybe you start deciding to make analysis 2 hours before the game start. The spreads are already formed. Okay, you will not find a lot of value. You need to catch early lines. Okay, with betting model you can do this. If you have a job, you can reproject quickly. You can check, and then you can write on a paper, and then maybe you can bet with mobile phone. When you have, let's say, make projection for Detroit Cleveland, make projections with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. Without him, write it down, and even if you have a job, then you know what will happen, and maybe you can find the latest information, and then you already have calculated the projection one, projection two, and then you can decide. So no matter if you sit at home, but you need to do this work before this happens, right? And of course, you can also check player propositions. Many bookmakers offer this, and you can use these numbers to make some bets. So you can go deeper. I didn't go deep into player props because I'm focusing on spreads. I'm also doing NHL right now, but this is definitely worth uh, researching. So you can check spreads, totals, player propositions. You can also check halftime betting with these numbers, cut it at half. So those are all options. One betting model gives you more options. It is not just spreads betting. So I'm focusing on spreads betting, but this is a tool that will calculate the numbers. Okay, and you can find the values in different bet types. Okay, you can go with first quarter, first half betting. As I said, player props, maybe total spreads, different lineups. You can play with these numbers. Okay, so this is your help to calculate projections. Okay, so you don't need to follow every single step that I do. This was never my intention. Okay, because my motto from the start is that following is a losing mentality, right? So what I want to give you are the tools so you can make your own smart bets. You can create your own strategy, which will work for you, even based on your location, based on your bookmakers, based on your available time. And this is something you need to know. But if you have the knowledge, then this is something you can do. If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the betting model, if you don't crunch the numbers, then it is always a problem. Okay, so let's go quickly through the numbers. Milwaukee Bucks, Charlotte Hornets, those are the my lines. I still didn't find bookmakers lines back then. So I was doing these projections in the morning, so you can also reproject the lines if you have new information about the player. So you change the player, and the numbers might change a little bit. Philadelphia, Atlanta, within 1.5 difference, as you see, maybe small value with Philadelphia to cover this. Detroit, Cleveland, this is something I already talked. I have Cleveland Cavaliers at -10, but with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, and this is the total with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. And but if we exclude him, these numbers will change, and this is something we should take into account as well later. Okay, Boston, Toronto, -8.5, -6.5, so 2 point difference. Sacramento, San Antonio, half point difference. Orlando, Chicago Bulls, 1.5 difference, and I'm looking for 5 point difference. There will be no I cannot expect that I will find the value in every single day, but I'm selective and I'm looking just for the games where there is at least 5 point difference. In the past, I was looking only for 7 point difference, and I also found during the whole season a couple of games, and I made 15 units, for example, right, with 7 point difference. This year, I am going with 5 point difference, a little bit less selective. But in sharp markets, if you have a betting model, most of the times you will find similar lines. Denver Pelicans, basically the same line, half-point difference. Phoenix Utah, 1 point difference. Lakers Portland, 2.5 difference, and Houston Clippers, 1.5 difference. I think there is maybe small value with Clippers, 1.5 difference. I don't want to talk about opinions or gut feelings, but Clippers, they are playing pretty bad right now with James Harden. So they have four superstars. Russell Westbrook, Harden, Leonard, and Paul George, and Zubac is in center position. And Houston Rockets, they're playing well, or if I say they're playing above expectations this season. And this is the game the Clippers might go a little bit better, so they might cover the spread. I don't know, but based on my projections, I didn't find any value. Okay, so I hope you get some or a couple of ideas from today's video. Always remember, sports betting should always be a long-term game. Okay. And if this is a long-term game, then you're waiting for the right place. Okay. It is more about how to bet than what to bet. And this is something people are not focusing that much. Most people are just focusing on what to bet, how to get system, how to get betting more. But try to get the whole picture about betting. Okay. So set the strategy, set the investment plan, be patient, take the profits, build wealth. And once you do this, once you have this picture, then it is not important if you don't find, I don't know, bets for 5 days. Maybe you find with NHL, maybe you find later with esports. If you have more tools, then you can play. And then, sometimes you will not find for 1 week. Sometimes you will have a losing month, right? It is always a long-term strategy. Okay. And if you have a long-term strategy, this can change your life. Okay. Okay. So that's it from me today. Thank you for watching. And whatever you decide to take, if you decide to take something, I wish you good luck.